Happy holidays. Welcome to Loud on Set. I'm your co-host, Austin.
I'm your co-host, Jonah.
And today is the first of 12 days leading up till Christmas. You could say it's the first day of Podmas.
First day of Podmas, guys.
All right, we have a good one for you.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Podmas!
So for this episode of Podmas, we got kind of an artsy episode for you.
An artsy, cinematic,
artsy, dreamlike experience.
exuberant,
Exuberant.
Flamboyant.
Flamboyant is definitely
Flamboyant.
one of the words I would use to describe this film. So for those uninitiated, A24 likes to re-release their films in IMAX once a month.
As we saw last month.
As we demonstrated with The Lighthouse. If you click up there.
Oh, or here. I don't know which corner it will be.
You click right there.
Right. Yeah.
It's over there somewhere. Just throw in some pie charts and stuff.
Yeah.
Editing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
You're good.
So basically, A24 chose as their December movie. Crazy.
So I slurp in the theater and I slurp on set.
You're
Slurping on set.
Can we rename the pod Slurp on Set?
I don't think we are.
What do you think this is? Some kind of slurp on set?
Stop. No.
Okay.
Dude, we literally could not stop making that joke. So the movie we saw, it's Green Knight.
So The
And
Green Knight.
Every single time we saw the Green Knight on screen, we'd be like, whoa, what are you, some kind of Green Knight?
Except when the Green Chapel came up and you were like, what is this? Some kind of Green Chapel?
And you lost it.
I lost it
For
in the
some
theater.
reason.
I got really like self-conscious because I thought my friend was there and he decided not to come because of the weather.
Oh.
So he was not.
Okay.
Was not at the theater.
All right.
But I got really self-conscious. I was like, what if he's watching me laugh at all this brain rot nonsense? But
So this was my first time seeing this movie.
Mhm.
Like, okay, with The Lighthouse, I went in with the teeniest bit of knowledge. Like I've seen clips, I've seen the memes. I've seen the memes. Trust me. I knew a little bit of the plot,
yeah.
but going into this, literally nothing.
Bro
Not a single visual.
Mm-mm.
I thought Green Knight was like nighttime, like night.
No.
But no, it's like an actual like
It's a bro.
like a
Legit.
a jit. A jit.
The green jit.
After the movie ended, I look back, and there's like people sitting in the movie theater alone, and I'm like, there would really be jits out here seeing this alone.
And for those who don't know, jit is like a trigger word for me, and it just makes me
For
laugh.
some reason. What does it even mean?
It's like a guy, like
Just like a.
a dude, but like jit. Like,
All right. Well,
I'm sorry, I'm really sidetracking us here, but yes, the movie we saw was The Green Knight. I had seen it before. Austin hadn't.
and when we got in the car, you were saying that you appreciated it a lot more the second time, because the first time you were a little confused. I will say, for this time, I was a bit confused on like what was actually also, by the way, like spoilers.
Spoilers.
I feel like this goes for most of the movies we talk about.
we like to yap.
We like to yap.
Yapping comes with spoilers.
But so basically, like, I get it. I get why you were confused, because I'm a bit confused.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I can like wrap my head around it now, but I do think seeing it a second time would probably
Help.
I think I would enjoy it
Yeah.
more.
Oh, for sure.
But can we just the visuals in this
The visuals
movie?
are gorgeous.
Woo, the lighting, like, okay, a lot of times, like when there's like nighttime shots in movies, they'll do it's called shooting day for night. So they'll shoot at daytime and they'll color grade it to night. But the way they did this, like, it wasn't like that. The way they were shooting nighttime was by using silhouettes, essentially, just casting like just barely a shadow. Whether it's like a shadow where you can just catch the glare in his eye, or if it's just like you just see like actually his full silhouette, like in. I don't know. It was just phenomenal.
One thing
I really like that.
Yeah, one thing I noticed about the lighting is even if it was like a dark scene, they did a very good job making you aware of what was happening.
Yeah.
And it felt like that's kind of a lack of clarity that I think a lot of movies have. Like there are even some moments when we saw The Lighthouse when I was like, what's going on the screen there?
Also, like a quarter through this movie, I thought it was a Robert Eggers
Yeah.
film.
So Austin leaned at the beginning of the movie. This should have been my red flag. Austin's like, "Yo, is this a horror movie?" And I'm like, "No." And you seemed confused, like a little
Yeah.
bit. I was like, "It's just like an adventure kind of movie, like a self-discovery type, John."
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe a half hour later, you're like, this is like really visually different than The Lighthouse. And I was like, what?
Well, I mean, it's a different film.
Yeah, well, but like
Yeah.
you had thought it
Yes.
was another Robert Eggers movie. It's not true.
It was, in fact, not a Robert
It was
Eggers film.
David Lowery film.
Don't know who that is.
He's done some other stuff off the top of my head. I totally might just be like spitting falsities here, but I think he did like Slumdog Millionaire. That could be totally wrong.
Yeah.
He's done stuff. It's just I don't remember.
Do you want to give, like, for the people that haven't seen it but like maybe still want to watch the pod
Yeah.
and don't necessarily want to go immediately watch the movie, which I think you should, because it was a pretty solid movie.
It's a
Visually,
banger.
it's
Yeah.
great.
Got a
Storyline, it's great.
A lot of like metaphorical stuff to unpack.
Yeah, a lot, like some foreshadowing I
Yeah.
saw too.
So do you want me to get into some gist stuff here?
Well, I'd say just give like the basic rundown of the plot and kind of like what happened in this film.
All the way through, or just like a pitch to them? I can
A little bit of, like, in between.
Okay. So basically, there's this knight, right? Not the Green Knight. He's actually not really even a knight.
No.
He's kind of just like a lame guy. He kind of does nothing. He drinks a lot all day, and he goes home drunk every night. And he's got a woman, but like he's not committed. So he's got a mom, so that's kind of cool. But I'm yapping. So basically, the only like thing this guy has going for him is
This is like Middle Ages. by the
Middle
way.
Ages, medieval castle setting. And the only thing this guy has going for him is that he's King Arthur's like nephew.
Yeah.
So that's like that's what his life is like. He's like, yo, I'm King Arthur's nephew. Anyway, at the Christmas celebration, they had a loud on set celebration in Camelot.
Oh.
What are you doing?
Yo.
What? Oh, you knocked that John off.
I don't know. That's too big for that. There's a light that just like fell. I'm just gonna set that up there and pretend I didn't see.
Yeah, let's pretend.
I'm gonna put my. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Keep going. Yeah. So, anyway, at the Christmas celebration, King Arthur's like, bro, why don't you have any stories to tell? You could be a cool guy. Why are you not cool? And the kid's like, I don't know. And I'm a terrible explainer of plots. But anyway, this big green man, some kind of green knight.
Some kind of knight. You could
Some
maybe
kind of
say.
knight. What? He's some kind of green knight?
He was a green knight.
He was
in
a
fact.
green knight.
So he's like some kind of otherworldly.
Yeah, he's like a tree man.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
not like Groot. Like
No, like a literal.
Like-
Okay, Groot is a literal tree, but bro's
It's
like
hard to explain. It looks like if like there was like a dude and then like a tree overtook the dude's body.
looked like if Groot had to play a person.
Yeah, or like Groot in like a musical.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. But anyway, this guy he issues a Christmas challenge, a sort of game, and he says to the whole court, all of Camelot, he's like, "Yo, any of you can lay any blow you want to against me. It's like it's up to you. You can scratch my chest, you can cut my head off, you can do whatever. But a year from now, I get to do the same thing to you." And everybody's like, "Oh, I don't want any part of that."
Have you ever played the basketball game Pig?
Yeah.
It's like that.
It is kind of like
But,
Pig. You got to like match the energy.
yeah. Same shot, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no one wants to do it, but then this one lame kid, nephew of King Arthur, is like, well, I don't have any cool stories to tell. Why don't I do it? So he cuts off the green dude's head, the Green Knight.
Everyone thought he died.
Everyone's like, oh, this dude's dead. But then his headless corpse stands up and grabs the head. And he's like, I'll see you in a year.
And he runs away.
He gaggles off on his horse. It's
man.
the most nefarious laughter on the way out of the
Yeah,
castle.
I feel like we don't need to go through like the
Right.
meat of the film. 'Cause
Yeah.
the meat, like a big chunk of the film is his adventure throughout.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed this time is that there's like a lot of the adventures they've got like some metaphorical connection to what he's going through, but they don't have much to do with the actual plot moving forward of him getting to the Green Chapel.
And in relation to a Robert Eggers film, one thing I did notice is it is kind of similar in a way where it's there is chunks of the movie where you don't know what's real.
Yeah, for sure. It's very.
It keeps your like guard, like you're on guard because you don't really know exactly what's real.
It's the kind of movie that I would show my mom and she'd get frustrated. She'd be like, "Why is the filmmaker toying with me?" Like just like that kind of thing.
But like Hallmark is fine.
Yeah. The filmmakers, Hallmark filmmakers.
Dude, how do you even get contracted to make a Hallmark? I mean, they're
deal
all
with
the
the
same
devil.
plot. They're all the same. Maybe you'll see something about that soon.
You might see something about Hallmark movies.
This Podmas.
This Podmas.
This Podmas.
This Podnica.
This Podnica. Yes. Oh, I should have said. My bad. Yeah. If you guys do not celebrate Podmas, there's also Podmica. And I guess just don't pay attention to like
Poddays.
Just don't pay attention to like the last 4 episodes, and then just take the first 8, and it's like, you're good to go.
It's all good. Yeah, just trim that down to whichever 8 sound the most interesting. There you go. There's your programming for this season.
Crazy.
Yeah. And the Green Knight. It's not by a long shot. It's not one of my favorite A24 movies.
No.
There are so many others that I would rather put on, like, but I don't say that in a mean way. Like, it's good. It's just, it's super like fantastical and dreamlike, and I like a little bit more of a literal story, which is weird coming from a Lighthouse fan, like the most subjective story of all time. But yeah, it's good. Go give it a watch. It's definitely Christmas vibes.
I also think, although it might not be my favorite A24 movie I've seen, I do think it does hold up to the standard of A24.
Yes, it does.
Because I feel like when you go in seeing an A24 film,
your bar
there's
is
a bar.
set.
There's a bar, and that's the one thing I've learned to enjoy, because like there is a lot of bad movies out,
Yep.
and I can trust that if I see an A24 movie, it's going to be good. Minimum good.
And that's why I'm so glad they're doing these IMAX re-releases.
Yes.
And like we will keep covering them if these pull views, it's like, I think next,
because it is old. They're
old movies.
less relevant movies.
Yeah. I think next month is Talk to Me.
Oh, dude, that movie's good.
Is it freaky?
Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, dude, you're gonna love it.
Okay.
It's a great film.
Okay.
I was gonna say something. Oh yeah. So one thing about A24 films on re-releases is they don't play the typical 20 minutes of trailers.
We pulled up to the function late.
Yeah, the movie had already started.
You didn't miss much at all. It's literally a sequence of him waking up and being a bum.
Yeah. Well, what time did we get in the theater? Like 7.
It was 7:06.
7:06.
I remember this.
And it was already started.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And the movie started at 7. Normally we're safe and we got those trailers, but I guess I don't really know how advertisers work. That makes sense that they probably don't play.
If it's a fan favorite, I don't think they throw too many. But I took my brother to see Batman, the 1989 one, and there were commercials on that. So like, I don't know.
You know what was a little disappointing?
What?
This is like a little unrelated, but I'll talk about it anyways.
Okay.
One of our favorite films of the year,
Saturday Night.
Yes. It was nominated for 0 Golden Globes and 0 Oscars.
No.
I just don't think the critics liked it.
That's such a bummer.
It is.
Because it's like,
it's a good movie. It's a really good movie.
We'll talk more about that in the New Year's extravaganza.
Maybe because we will, but maybe because it's like kind of falls under, I guess you could view it as a comedy.
Yeah.
And comedy movies, they don't
do very well at the Oscars or the Golden Globes. Yeah.
But did this movie win any awards?
It would have been for technical stuff.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I don't really know, but it certainly didn't get any nominations for like Best Picture or anything, which is like,
it was visually. There was a couple shots where I'm like, that's very painterly.
It is very painterly. There was one shot that really got me. It's when I think he's traveling back home, and it's like a dark horizon, and he's kind of walking.
Yeah.
I was beautiful.
Also, there's one like after he got like mugged. My first question is, why did he not pick up the sword?
But like he has it later, so maybe he had it like hilted, like
I get yeah. There was one thing that I will say, I was pretty immersed in this movie. One thing that took me out of it just a little bit, was they were hiding, and I know it would be a really hard shot to complete, But when there was like smoke, like a smog that would
in the battlefield.
Yes, that would like it covered the whole screen. Not very discreetly.
Cover your cut shot.
Yeah, it was, and they were definitely hiding a cut there.
Yeah.
I could see like, especially like probably with animals and stuff like the horse, like that's probably there's probably limitations of how long you can have them on set.
I mean, there are horse actors, but are there really horse actors? You know what I mean?
I'm gonna let you sit with that one.
Okay,
let you sit with that one. No, do you have like so seeing this the second time around?
Yeah.
What are some things you picked up on that you maybe didn't see the first time around, and would you recommend I watch it a second time?
To answer your second question first, absolutely. That's yes.
Okay.
There are some very funny moments of wordplay that I missed the first time. Just the way things are written in the dialogue that are foreshadowing or just kind of really relevant to the metaphors at hand.
Yeah.
When he leaves and his mother says, "You'll come back with," she said something, "You'll come back like with your head lifted high." I was kind of like, because he doesn't come back with his head lifted high, and so like that kind of thing I caught, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty clever. I see what you did there, Mr. Director." But
yeah, there was one point where I thought it was going to be crazy foreshadowing. It was when his mom she basically caressed like his head when he was like sleeping, and it was like the way that like his head was shot. Like I was like, oh, is this gonna like foreshadow like when his head is off his body later? And no, it was not, and I was disappointed.
The sequence I remembered loving the first time the most, and the one I love the most now having seen it, is the end when he envisions what his life would be like if he just ran away.
It's kind of like a La La Land.
In
a weird way.
Medieval La La Land, yeah.
And honestly, it was like, it was depressing.
Yeah, it was, because you realize like this guy is clinging on so desperately for life, and his life just like, okay, well, like life is precious, but his just wasn't worth living.
So my question was, why how did his head get cut off at the end?
Because he wore the belt. The belt protects him from being struck down. So when
wait, in that alternative like memory or whatever that was, what did he actually take that blow?
That's tough because he runs away, and then that's when the memory starts. I feel like, I don't know, I kind of see it as like the things of the past like catching up to him, and he can't run away for too long. So
the way I processed this part of the movie was because it was a game or a challenge. When he took off the belt at the end, that was him actually sacrificing himself, and he was fully ready to do it, and that's what won him that game.
Okay, I see.
Because like the whole point of the game is, he would have he was gonna strike him down, but if he wasn't fully like committed to playing fair,
right? Yeah, exactly.
like playing by the rules.
Yeah. It's like it was going to happen at one time or another. You mean? Yeah, I gotcha. And the thing I keep doing, and I shouldn't be doing it because it's just clearly not meant to be seen that way, is I read the book in high school, like the book from like 1112 AD or whenever it was written. Yeah. It's like a book from the time that the story takes place. It's crazy old. But the story is so different. Like he wears the belt but takes it off and then does the business with the woman. And then at the end, it's revealed that like the Green Knight was a test of his chivalry and like his virtue, and he failed. And then he doesn't get killed, but instead he wears the belt as a reminder of his failure and just goes on about his days. And like that's
kind of almost what that like vision was.
Yeah, for sure. It's like he just has to live with his own kind of failure. And I
think one reason they took that like creative liberty, if I had to think about it, I would say it'd be to maybe finish off or polish off a story that could have had a better ending, but also for the people that did read the book, that probably came as a surprise.
Oh, it came. I was like, is that the end of the movie? And it surprised me in a good way, because I was expecting a totally different ending, and it just didn't happen. And I was super happy that happened because I hate when book adaptations are 1-to-1. I want surprises and things like that all the time. So
Did you say you read American Psycho?
I read like half of it.
Okay, because we need to see that.
You know they're remaking that, and
I do.
Do you know who's in the lead role? Okay, no, here I'm a little excited for this because the lineup they have for this movie as like a creative team is really promising. It's not a remake of a movie; it's an adaptation of the book. Okay, so and they have Elvis Presley, Austin Butler.
Yeah,
he's playing Patrick Bateman.
The
guy that directed Challengers, among other things,
Austin Butler.
Yeah,
I don't.
He played Elvis. Remember?
Yeah.
He was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I don't know if Are you sure it's not the other guy that played Elvis?
No, it's Austin Butler.
Dang.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
They're taking this in very creative places.
Well, okay, so here's the thing: is you could take it as, they're not remaking the movie; they're doing another adaptation of the book. The reason that just puts me off just a little bit, and I'm sure it will be great, and I'm gonna see it because I've read the book, and the book is different from the movie. So I'm curious to see how they're gonna do that.
Yeah.
But the thing that puts me off is that movie is such a cult classic.
Yeah.
It's like, it's up there. You know how many people went to dress up at Halloween as Patrick Bateman like every year?
Everyone.
Me, myself included.
You went? I thought you were Ferris Bueller.
The year before.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah. But no, that movie's a classic.
It's very.
So I guess I'll be excited to see where they take that.
Yeah, the guy that directed Challengers is directing it, and he's done other stuff. I just off the top of my head, I don't remember. Oh, he did Call Me by Your Name.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be interesting.
I could see,
and
because that movie is almost like it's a bit of psychological in a way. It's like
psychological drama.
Yeah. So I mean, which very much psychological thriller is
definitely.
American Psycho.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited to see that. But no, Green Knight was great.
Green Knight, fantastic.
I would definitely give it another watch.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what A24 has coming out, what re-releases they're going to do.
Do you have a rating at all in your mind? Because the first rating I gave it when I saw it the first time was a 7 out of 10. Now I'm feeling closer to like an 8. But yeah, like an 8. I think that sits pretty comfortably.
I've been trying to recently take my ratings, and I've seen people do this. They say give a rating out of 10, and you can't pick 7.
I know, that's my thing too.
It's
but
tough.
like this time, it's genuine. I would give it an 8. But the first time I saw it was like my textbook definition of a 7. Like it was a good movie while I was watching it, and I don't remember much about it. But this time, I picked up so much more, and it became so much more clear to me.
I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
Okay. It's like the most 7 number you can pick without getting to 7.
No. I like it's a 6.5.
That's fair. That's fair.
No, I was including 7 in my rating. That were just.
Oh God. Okay, I thought you were.
No.
You gotcha.
But yeah, I'd give it like a 6.5. It was good. I'm definitely a visuals person, and I loved all the forest shots. That was great.
It's a gorgeous movie. Gorgeous.
I just say I had a lot of questions throughout, and because I was literally asking you.
Jit was asking me.
No, but I definitely have to see it again. Now understanding what's happening a little bit more.
I might cop that on like Blu-ray or something because now that I've seen it 2 times, it's like, oh, I can see myself watching this over and over and over again. It's just, it didn't feel very long. Maybe that's because we showed up late, but it's like over 2 hours long.
It didn't seem like that. I think that's just the way they separated. It was each section.
Having the chapters was very nice. It made things move quickly.
Yeah, and also I think it's because like the adventure part of the movie is really long, and the other parts are shorter.
So was the setup. The setup is like 35 minutes.
So that might make the rest of the movie seem quicker.
I think you're onto something because with like the opening setup of him finally like leaving, like that takes like 35 minutes, and then the ending like vision sequence.
It didn't seem rushed.
Not at all. But that was like another 20 minutes. So the adventure itself is like an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah,
which
probably.
Is that tracks.
No, but once again, we recommend you go see this movie and come up with a rating yourself.
Yeah, drop your rating in the comment section below.
And tell us if there's any movies. That actually be a fun one. If there is any movies you want us to watch and review.
Yeah.
Because I've never even thought about that.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. All right. Well, that kicks off insert number here of Podmas because I don't know what
we're
when
filming these
recording
very
this.
out of order.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So we'll see you guys in the next one. We're looking forward to how the rest of this will go, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Happy holidays.
Peace.